Hi, everyone. My name is V. Lynn Hawkins, and welcome to the Permission Movement Experience. You're in the module today where we're going to be talking with some of my very dear friends, and one of the co-authors of our book has graciously offered to host them. And I'm just really excited because the Permission Movement Experience is not only to give you an opportunity to hear some of the stories of some of our co-authors, but to see them and to really get into the space where what we're doing around story is something that will help you in your life, in your business, and for you as a leader. Um, the Permission Movement Experience is actually a virtual experience, and I want to invite you to come and play with us because I'm sorry, I'm getting a lot of feedback in the background. Andrea, can you mute, please? Thank you. Um, The permission movement experience is just what you've seen. It's the experience of where are you right now? What are you? Who are you at your best self? And for us as co-authors, having participated in writing our chapters of the book Permission to be Powerful, it was just about that. Where do I stand in my power? How do I stand more present in the power of who I am, who I've been created to be? And it goes a little farther than that too, because our desire is to bring this information, the not just the inspirational stories that we've written in the book, but the tools and the strategies that we've used. Each co-author talks about something that has helped her to propel forward in her Shiro's journey. And we are positioning this book to be turned into a study guide and a leader guide, and the books to be given to small groups of girls and women. And we've targeted a certain segment to begin with that includes girls aging out of foster care who are looking ahead of them and saying, oh my gosh, what does life have to offer me? How can I make my dreams come true? We're looking at girls who are coming out of juvenile detention, who've been there for a while, and looking at if I have to go back to where I came from, the home life or the society that I came from, I'm susceptible to the same things that got me here in the first place. We're targeting women who are transitioning out of incarceration and who are either going back to the same things that they left when they ended up in prison, or they're going to the halfway houses or the new beginnings houses that are providing them with some tangible things. But the tools that we stress in this book actually have are going to provide a lot more in the way of helping these girls and women to have these life skills tools to put in their toolbox and to draw upon as they go forward on their journey in life. And I'm inviting you to join us in the celebration of this opportunity for these girls and women by joining the Permission Movement. You can find out more information by going right to our website at permissionmovement.org and help us out. We are accumulating all of this great material around story for a digital package, which we are selling for nominal cost. And for every 2 packages sold, one nonprofit who is supporting these girls and women will get a package complimentary from the co-authors and from those who participated in the Permission Movement experience. So please help us to do that. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce my co-author and friend and mentor and just overall beautiful woman who is really part of the sources and resources that are making such a difference in the world, and a huge difference. Her name is Andrea Wolf. She's a transformational life and business coach. She's an author, speaker, trainer, and her focus is on helping others, women and men, to do bigger business so that they can do more good in the world. And I am so happy and honored to bring her to you to introduce our guest for today. Andrea, hi. Turn on your mic. Get yourself unmuted, and there we go.
Thank you, Lynn, so much for inviting me to do this. You are a wonderful, wonderful good friend, and I absolutely adore Terry and Robert. Wait till you hear what they have to share with you. So thank you for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you. It's all you. Take it away, girl.
I am so honored to introduce two extraordinary, unique, and amazing individuals, Terry and Robert TallTree, and together as a couple, wow, watch out world. They are so powerful. They are best-selling authors, they are peace advocates, and world-renowned recording artists. You absolutely have to listen to their music. It is magical. The TallTrees have been teaching Native American cultural programs for more than 30 years. And they've appeared on PBS, NBC, BBC, The Animal Planet, and also the Discovery Channel. A direct lineal descendant of the Black Elk of the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe of Michigan, Robert walks a clear path between the worlds of contemporary America and that of traditional Native American peoples of today. He brings a fresh voice and clear vision to who we are and what we can choose to become. Chief Robert and his lovely wife, companion, and fellow teacher Terry are guides and mentors to self-mastery and personal transformation. The TallTrees are living proof that miracles happen and dreams come true when you align your mind, body, and spirit. Teaching others through their How to Live on Purpose programs, they bring their love and wisdom to the permission movement experience to teach the mastery behind ancient limitations of the elders to release the limitations of your past. What a great topic. So amazingly powerful. And then last of all the other information about, so we're coming into the conversation now. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be with you both and have you share with the world on this important topic. So, yeah, so there's this idea of, focusing on the past and how often we focus on the negativity of all that. Okay, so would you like to share with our audience, just starting with a small topic like that, right? What happens when you do that?
Well, first I would like to take and honor my ancestors in way in which I've been taught by my elders who were the greatest influence in my life, and I always speak my language by doing such. And so just a little bit of that, it's more of being a formality that we, and traditional way of taking and starting any good conversation. Bujunin dinoi magana no some tigantis nakas omash kusmin of them menokishikat.
I'll translate for you. My husband just spoke to you very, very respectfully in our Ojibwe language, and what he said was, hello to all my relatives. Hello, my friends. My name is Tree, reaching and growing toward the sky. I am Elk Clan, and today is a good day.
And this is the way in which my elders, who were 60, 70, even 100 years young, would begin every conversation by taking it and first standing in the presence of all the gifted people that they have an opportunity to be around, along with also recognizing that the reason why they were standing in such a great place was because of individuals believing in them. And those individuals then fortified through conversation, through moments of time, the aspects of purpose. And purpose is relevant to really knowing that your life can be exemplified by taking bits and pieces of your past and bringing them into the present moment. And so initially, this is how my life has tended to being influenced. But let's take a step back for just a moment to get a true perspective of why I am here. Of course, one is that my own mother, who turned 84 yesterday, she was, and she was the dynamics. She's a single parent. She was raising 3 children, and she, at that particular time, only had about a 4th or 5th grade education, working 3 jobs, and we lived literally in a shack with a dirt floor. Now, here's a woman who was a minority, a woman of color, that was trying to find some specific foundations to build upon. She knew that the one thing she wanted to do was to take and at least try to keep her children fed and clothed. And I remember, because I had an opportunity, maybe I have an old soul, but initially I had an opportunity to see things for what they were and understand what needed to be done to be able to make things work too. So I would coordinate specific things in my life with, so that they would be more in alignment or vibrational alignment in conjunction of her life. My sister lost her vision at age 7, so I am now the next child in line, and then I had a baby brother, and so I could see the writing on the wall that the food that was brought into our home was all the food that we had. When that food was cleared from the plates, there was no food in cupboards. And so each time she came home, she would prepare a meal. And whatever was left upon those plates was what she would have for her meal. So seeing this particular sacrifices that this woman was willing to do for her children, and realizing that she was doing this because she could see so much more in us, but also seeing that she was continually reading and learning as much as she could. She didn't allow anyone to take and encapsulate her into the aspect of where she was and what she should be. She knew she was much more. Even though we were living in a particular community and environment of other individual families that were scratching and clawing, trying to take and survive or keep food in their stomach or even clothing upon their back, she knew that there could be and definitely was a better way of life. So here's a woman that saw that there needed to be a way to be able to take and work out of this particular environment, but she also saw that the key was the wisdom of our nation and of our people. And so she pulled upon those particular Native women and Native men to be able to take and impress upon me specific thought processes and values that not only started to take and she started to embrace and integrate within her life, but also was able to impress them upon me to take those things, to take shifts and changes within my life. And of course, because of that, and because of her pulling in those particular individuals, I started taking and walking at their side and immersing myself in the culture. Now, of course, as a young boy, I felt that this was something, being within aspects of the limitations of my thought process, I thought everybody went through this. I didn't realize that I had been presented with a gift of knowledge and wisdom that they were trying to perpetuate, because the only way in which they wrote things down was through pictographs, symbols that would have a tendency of being set, but they were the only ones that knew and understood these symbols to be able to implement the story. And the story was relevant to the aspect of where your power is. And so as I started to grow, now again, I was already in the dominant society, and so I was being influenced by the dominant society. And so even though she was integrating these particular foundations, I still had the other dominance of saturation of individuals telling me who I was and who I was going to be. Even my school teachers, when I was in 6th grade, my school teacher said, and hit me with statistics, with being a minority, and also telling me that my particular position in relationship to the general population was that I was supposed to be a worker bee. I was supposed to be the gas station person, or the person that would cook in a restaurant, or clean floors at a school. Or these are the things in which I was being bombarded with by society of where I was supposed to be. Of course, my mother, she continued to take and work against the grain of that and the flow of that. My sister, of course, having lost her vision at the age of 7, my mother knew that she had so much more potential. But at that particular time in the 1950s, the only thing they did for blind children was take them and put them in institutions to where they were taught to take and make brooms or cane chairs. Now my mother knew my sister had so much more than that. And so what she did is, as my sister had gone through her 40th or 50th operation and surgery to try to recover her ability to be able to have, to be able to see, she was reading in an old magazine at the in the waiting room, and that there was a school in California that was considering mainstreaming blind children, and she knew that was the answer to her prayer. Now here she was in Michigan on the reservation, and this was in California, but she figured it out. She said, "I will do whatever it takes to make this happen." And so she took her babies, put them in the car, and she drove as far as she could until she ran out of gas. Now, in the midst of that, she would make Kool-Aid and sandwiches, and that's what we existed on. And so when she ran out of gas, she would work with the migrant workers. And I remember living in stalls that my mother was working out in the fields or picking whatever crop was at the particular time of period, and the stalls were bunk beds with straw on them. I remember playing with one toy in the dirt, and just knowing that soon she'd be back and soon she would prepare a meal. And I remember that the people being so kind, because the people were close, and we didn't have much, but what we did have is we had each other. We had me, my brother, my sister, my mom. And so we would watch and listen. And she learned how to cook the way they cook. She learned how to take it and listen and enjoy the people that would take it. You know, an old guitar which had to have 3 strings missing, but it was enough to be able to make a sound, and they would sit and sing with this guitar. And all these particular things were integrated in aspects of people loving each other and bringing whatever they could up to the moment. And that was what was necessary to keep your mind in the aspects of away from everything else. And I remember that she would then take it, or again, whatever resources that she had, put gasoline in the car, make the sandwiches, make the Kool-Aid, and continue on that journey until she ran out of gas. And she continued to work her way across the United States to California, to where she finally was able to integrate my sister into the system. Now, my sister speaks 5 languages and has 2 teaching degrees. So the dynamics of a woman seeing that there was more, knowing that there was more, and having such a grand love for life, and a love for herself was relevant. Now, she also has a college degree, my mother, because she went back to school. She got her GED, and then she went back to college and so forth. But so you can see that it's never too late in aspects to integrate to empower yourself and not being pulled into past experiences or past communities. Because she knew that she needed to pour herself out of a particular environment into a new expressive environment. And that is one of the keys to the success of my mother and to meeting my brother and my sister. And, you know, and I could tell you so much more about my sister and my mom. These are just phenomenal things.
Yes. Your story is amazing, Robert, as are you. You're a totally powerful and amazing man. And so how have because I know the 2 of you are this powerful blend. How have you taken all that and more from the teachings that you learned, both of you? And, you know, if you were going to start guiding our audience here, what lessons would you pull forward to share with them from all of this amazing story that you just shared, your story? Terry, how
Tim,
about?
I think that initially, you know, we're pathfinders between 2 worlds. In fact, everyone is a pathfinder between 2 worlds. I had somebody who did an international story on my in a magazine some years back, and he said, "You're a pathfinder between 2 worlds." But it came to me that was an ideal perspective of what people are today. If we can take the highlights, the strength, the things that were really empowering within our past, and pull them together like the dynamics of a beautiful rainbow or a beautiful, colorful puzzle. And as we put it together and start putting our energy toward all those particular successes, then we can use that to continue to take it and create more success. And to me, that's what you need to be able to formulate where you're going. Don't take and analyze the aspect of the things that didn't work. Start taking and celebrate on the things that did work. And I think that's initially what people forget to do. And it's because today's society has a tendency of taking and creating such a strong emphasis on negativity through the news, through the media, through the webs. You'll see that the abundance of things that have a tendency to be perpetuated are not very high energy.
Yeah.
And so it's up to us to make new choices. One of my elders, he tapped his tempo 3 times. Thoughts, actions, words, actions,
Your 3 arrows of
3 hours of
power.
power. Okay.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
just going to ask you, Terry. So just so we hear from both of you, Robert, because I could listen to you all day long, and as I know everyone listening in here could. So Terry, would you like to share with us about your 3 hours of power? You just mentioned it, and because it
Sure.
really speaks to letting go of the past, right, and creating a future.
Well, yeah, and just, I mean, a little, just to give some context, when we speak of the 3 arrows of power, the first thing about letting go of the past is I think we don't really let go of the past. I think we come into a relationship with it that empowers us. So Robert could look at his past and say, this is the way it is, this is the way it always will be. I come from limited circumstances, and I'm defined by my circumstances. Or he can look at that and tell a more powerful story to himself. So we don't really ever let go. We have our memories, but how we choose to identify ourselves in relationship to that makes all the difference in the world. And that emotional charge that keeps us small can be transformed by rewriting the way we relate to the past. So our elders say to us that every human being is born with a purpose, and that on the day you were born, the whole universe celebrated.
Love that.
That truly you are a gift to the world, and that the whole world has been waiting for you. They also tell us that each human being is born with 3 arrows of power. And your first arrow of power are the thoughts you think. The thoughts you think. Your second arrow of power are the words you speak. The words you speak. And your third arrow of power are the actions you take. And with these 3 arrows, you can change the world. This is where your power lies. Realizing that we have the ability to choose. And what I love about the permission movement experience is that we're talking about you have the permission to be powerful, but this resides within your choice, right? It doesn't just happen. You must choose to express your power. You must choose to stand in that. And Robert made a choice years ago that rather than being limited by a story that didn't empower him, to see that as an opportunity to find gifts in it, right? To find gifts in it. One of the things that he talks about often is his father leaving when he was 2 years old and feeling for many years that he must not be very valuable for someone to abandon him, to leave him. And it took many, many years for him to realize that that experience opened up the door for elders to come into his life and give him just so many treasures, this ancient wisdom that he carries. And now he says, I've realized that he must have been a great man because it's taken so many elders and wisdom keepers, medicine people, to fill that place. Therefore, I must have great value for the Creator to bring them into my life. So that totally changed. And instead of having this emotional pain and suffering and a feeling of not deserving, to this huge expansion of self that was always there to begin with. But we can either see it and choose to hold on to pain and suffering, or choose to shine our light in the world in a way that illuminates everyone we come in contact with.
Yeah, so let's distill it down for everybody listening, because it's really easy to think, well, how do I manage my thinking? How do I, because I think thoughts.
Right.
Let me
Yeah.
just, I'm sorry, let me just interrupt for 1 second. We're having some technical difficulties here, and Andrea, we're getting a lot of feedback from you. Either your volume is too high, or you're going to just need to mute when you are not speaking,
I'll
because
mute.
it's causing the camera to flit. And I want everybody to be sure to not only get what it is that you're bringing in and asking of the tall trees, but I want everybody to be able to get their answers as well. So if you just want to mute while you are not talking, it'll take away the feedback.
Great.
Okay.
And if I forget to turn it back on, wave to me.
Okay. Okay.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to mute now. And your thoughts about how do you manage your thoughts?
I love that question because it's a basic step, and anybody who ever saw the movie The Karate Kid with wax on, wax off, right? And Daniel's frustration of not learning to be, to master martial arts by doing this simple, crazy little wax on, wax off, and then the moment when he realized it's very simple, the movements are very simple. This is true with mastering your mind, that typically we're rushing so far ahead at wanting to create this beautiful, positive, successful outcome in our life that we're going so far so fast that we haven't taken care of the basics. And the basics are that we're all going to be thinking thought after thought after thought. It's the function of the mind. The thoughts are going to continue to stream. What the basic fundamental is, do you know what you're thinking? We had a teenager come up and share we were at an alternative school in an area of extreme poverty, and this beautiful young man came up and he said, I'm so moved by what you're sharing about your 3 arrows of power and being a gift to the world. I'd like to share a poem I wrote. He said, you walk your walk, you talk your talk, but do you think your own thoughts? A teenager, this is powerful, right? Do you think your own thoughts, or are you just replaying someone else's thoughts, someone else's version of your life? Are you paying attention to what you're thinking, and are you consciously choosing to think thoughts that empower you? So determining the direction of your future, and Andrea, I love that this is the work that you do as a transformational life and success coach, right? First of all, decide what it is where you want to go, what do you want to experience in your life. Decide what you want. What does your heart desire? Be clear on it. So step 1 is have a clear vision of the life that you desire. Choose it.
Yeah. So, and just to add a thought here, because yes, it is my work too, and I know that because we've talked about this, a really powerful tip also is to be in the now. So often we're looking back in the past and holding that with regrets, with I wish I'd, or beating yourself up looking back in the past, and then also projecting out into the future, which is usually fraught with worry, I'll never get there, or never.
I think we lost Andrea.
Oh, there we go.
There she is.
Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Could you hear me a moment
Yes.
ago? But just not see. So now you're freezing a little. So
up to a certain point, we were hearing you and tracking just fine. So if you want to pick up from your last thought and take it on.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for helping me know where I am. Great. Okay, so the second thought, Terry and Robert, is around what you speak, your words. So that is so important. So would you share some more about that, like how you speak?
Well, the words have great power. There's no doubt about that. The vibrational essence of a word really is what it's all about. And even the ancient teachers had a tendency of evaluating specific words. I at times even teach people words that are thousands of years old to integrate within their life, because I really feel that the vibration and intention of that word is really relevant to now. And when it comes to words that have great power, that is wisdom. When wisdom, even in the essence of that word, has great power, and implementing that vibrational force within yourself is relative to the aspects of purpose and joy. They're all, they should be all integrated, and your own personal internal conversation. People think that the way in which they accomplish things is by gaining specific images of success around them. And I said, well, really, that's not how it's done. You know, it has to first take and be planted within yourself, and then it becomes expressed outwardly. And so if you gather all these things first outside of you, thinking that I don't know why I don't feel right, or I don't know why I'm not happy, or I'm not in joy, it's because it's not someone else's symbols, it's your symbols that have to be implemented. And, you know, if I see somebody that's successful and they're wearing pink, and I start wearing pink, I'm not going to feel right. It's not going to fit right. It's just not my color. And that's what I'm trying to get individuals to take and really find the color that vibrates with you. To me, it's more blue-green. I would wear blue-green rather than pink. That has a tendency of being relevant to growth. It's inner perspective, and it also has a tendency of being relevant to a color that I resonate with. Finding the particular tools and things that resonate with you as a unique gift and original human being is really relevant to expressing your success and your joy. And that's what people forget. They think it's outside of them that needs to be brought inside of them. It's really inside of you that needs to be expressed outwardly. And so then you start utilize specific empowering words, whether it's ancient words of the Chippewa Ojibwa or ancient words of German, French, or whatever nations you are part of. Implement those particular words, integrate with them, and allow them to be the fabric of who you are. That's what people. So your thoughts are very important, and the focus of your thoughts is also important. You know, you don't just grab an arrow and you shoot it. You first think about that arrow, but you first think further than that arrow to your target. Focus upon your target, and then implement the aspects of the empowering words to be able to express that to yourself, knowing that. When I would see the archer, he would not take the arrow and just pull it into the bow and let it go. He would take it, pull it through. He would raise it to the sky, thanking the Creator, and then bring it upon target, pulling it back with just the right tension. And within the moment of a breath, he would then let it go, knowing that it was going to hit perfect upon the target before it was even released.
Yeah, I want to add something, Andrea, about the words. You know, both thoughts and words are creative, and they have the power to either uplift or suppress. And with our words, one of the things that is a mastery lesson about words is when you can hear what you're speaking, you will know what your unconscious beliefs and attitudes are. So whatever you're experiencing in your life, if people want to know, how do I, you know, there's something blocking me. There's something blocking me. I'm working so hard, but I'm not making the money I want to make, or I'm trying so hard and I'm not getting the healing that I'm calling for. This is a gift for you. Listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying, because your words will always reflect your unconscious beliefs and attitudes. And if you can hear them for yourself, it's usually easier for people to hear other people. But if you can listen, have generous listening for yourself without judgment and just hear what you're saying, you will know how to reconfigure your beliefs in a way that so you're speaking the result that you wish to have. And it's a very subtle thing. Most people are so busy speaking that they don't hear themselves. Yeah.
One of the particular words I love, which is unique, that I teach individuals in the Chippewa language, is Oma. Oma. Very, very, as you can tell by just the vibration of it, that it sounds like Om. Well, in the Chippewa, it's Oma. And Oma is the presence of you. I am here. I am at this moment. I am sound. I'm vibrationally high. Oma is something that's very loving and very filling. And so you can see that the richness of cultures and the dynamics of specific vibrations cross over into other cultures. And when you discover these things, you know that these are essence of truth. And you start to implement them within your inner conversation. I utilize that term or that vibration before I say anything in my life. I am here. And whether I'm speaking to the great mystery, the Creator, to God, or whether I'm speaking to you, I utilize that before every conversation. And in doing so, you find that that is a foundation to build upon, one that will stand strong for the rest of your life.
It's so powerful what you both just shared. This is similar in one of the things. I give you a simple example that I do with everybody who crosses my path is invite them to eliminate the word should from their vocabulary. Where I should be by now in my life, what I should be doing, shoulding all over yourself, right?
Right.
We don't realize how often we're doing it when we're unconscious. So this is a consciousness training right here between the two of you. It's amazing what you're sharing with the audience and totally actionable right now, which is an amazing segue to the third topic, which is about actions. Things come into being through taking actions, right? So please
Right.
share more on that topic.
Andrea, we work so much with people who are on a spiritual path. They're awakened. They know that they are here for a purpose. They know that in spirit, all things are abundant. There is abundant health, wealth, love, happiness, that nothing is limited, that they're not limited. They kind of know it up here, but yet often, and they've generally done extensive personal development work. Often the people that we work with are experiencing a disconnect between what they know and believe spiritually and what they're living in their physical reality. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? They're like, okay, well, I know I live in an abundant universe. I know that I'm here and I'm connected to spirit. I'm connected to God, to the great mystery, to the Creator. And yet, I feel like I'm working so hard, or I feel like I get so far and then something happens. And so they're having a discrepancy between their physical reality and their spiritual intuition or understanding. And often it's because they're doing all this inner work without putting it into practice in the world. And so the step by step in Indian Sign Language, walking, actions are like your foot, one foot in front of the other. It's being able to act in accordance with the outcome that you desire. And, often the great masters and all of our elders teach that it's already done. It's our lack of faith and gratitude that keep us from experiencing it. Once we are clear on something, if it truly exists for a greater purpose, it's already done. And we just need to align ourselves to receive that. And how do we do that? Through the way we interact in the world, through the work that we do. Human beings are the only ones who have the free will to choose the work that we do in the world, right? Animals follow their instinct. All our relatives, trees, whatever it is in the world, follows its instinct, the bent of its nature. And human beings, we pull ourselves off track by trying so hard to make things happen because we think we're the ones doing it, as opposed to being in harmony with who we are, why we're here, and the essence of our purpose. So Robert always says, and our elders always say, follow the bent of your nature and take action in the world. We are spiritual beings, but we're in a physical world. We're in a physical body, and we must express ourselves physically in the world, not sit back and wait for our good to come to us, but be the good we want to be in the world. If our vision is to make the world a better place, we need to take action on it, right? And do it through the gifts and talents that we were born with. When we start to do that, it's amazing, magically, how many people come into our field of awareness. When we show up, and you know this, when we show up in the world, we don't have to convince anybody. We don't have to go out and sell anybody anything. All we have to do is share the gifts that we have, the knowledge and wisdom and creativity that we have, with the desire to help serve others, and everything falls into place. All the opportunities you will ever need, all the connections you will ever need, The resources, everything comes right magically to you because you're showing up and literally attracting it. And a lot of times people we work with will say, well, I've tried the law of attraction and it doesn't work, or, you know, I've done this and this and this. I do affirmation. I do this, and I'm still in this place. I'm not getting it. So we say you must line all three arrows up, right? It's a combination. It's not one or the other. It's not just thinking thoughts that are aligned with your purpose. It's not just speaking the right words. It's also having your actions lined up. So I'm going to give you a 4-step process because you're giving me the cue. Tell them how to do that. So number 1, have a clear vision, a clear mental image, as detailed as possible. Picture the life you want to be living. That makes your heart sing. That's aligned with who you truly are. Number 1, clear vision, clear mental image. And all of this happens on the medicine wheel, and this is what Robert and I teach, is that the medicine wheel is an incredible compass to where you're at and where you're going to help you understand it and simplify it. Number 2, have a purpose for why that matters. In other words, what's the bigger reason for it? Because if it's more than just a whim, you will have some emotional feeling about it. You will have a connection and a sense of purpose as to why it matters. Ask yourself, why is this important to me? How will it affect not only my life, but the people in my inner circle, my family, my close friends, my community, the people that they impact? How will that impact the larger scheme of things? How will that make a difference in the world? How does that improve the state of the world and the future of humanity, the environment? Whatever it is that makes your heart get really engaged and connected, that literally moves you to tears. That's purpose. Right? So that's step 2. Step 3 is have unwavering faith. This not only can, but is coming to full expression. And people always ask me, well, how can I have faith in something that isn't here yet? And this is the way that I do it, and it's been incredibly powerful and effective for me. I find something, start with one thing that you've experienced in your life that you've had a vision for and a strong feeling of, and it's come to pass for you. One thing. Find one thing that you have experienced great success, and particularly if it was something that maybe statistically there weren't great odds for it happening. For me, it was recovering from being completely paralyzed, right? Walking out of the hospital when no one thought I would. That for me was one of the ways that I practiced this, right? I had a clear vision. I'm going to walk out of here, and I'm going to walk out without assistance. I'm not going to be wheeled out. I'm not going to use a walker. I'm not going to have crutches. I am going to walk out. My body is going to be strong enough and healthy enough for me to walk out of here. And for me, that experience when I was being told there's a good chance you'll never walk again, that for me was a big goal. It was a big dream. And why was it important? I used to tell myself, if this is not my movie, when they would say you're not going to, you may not survive, you may never walk again, I used to say that's not my movie. I'm here in this world to make a difference. And I need to be strong. I need to be powerful. I need to be joyful. I need to be able to express myself, to inspire others to be empowered in their life. So it was important to me. And so I had that emotional thing. For me now, I use that experience to have unwavering faith. Heck, if I could do that, I could do anything. If I can walk on fire, I could do anything. If you can rise up out of poverty to be successful and live in a custom-built home like we do, we both grew up in poverty. We can do anything. So you take one thing in your life, no matter how, if you wanted a red sports car and you manifested it, whatever it is in your life that you've had an experience of success in, begin there and walk yourself through the steps. I did that. I created that experience in my life. At the time I started, it wasn't present in my life, but I manifested it. I co-created that. So use that to build unwavering faith, and then begin a list. And literally, I invite people to take a journal, your success journal, and start to write these things down. And anytime your faith begins to waver, get that out and read it. Oh, I remember, and start feeling that confidence and power, and start standing in that energy. So that's step 3, unwavering faith. Step number 4 is gratitude. And gratitude isn't just a thought, oh, I'm really grateful for this. It's a feeling where it comes into your body. This feeling of, it's a feeling of humility. It's a feeling of overwhelming peace. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful that life is for me. I'm so grateful that I am so supported. I'm so grateful that all forces in reality are coming in. They're surrounding me from all directions, the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 medicine directions, above, below, and within me. I am supported in this vision because it serves the greater good. I'm so grateful. And when we practice those 4 things, now I've gone into a little bit of detail on them, but when we do this and have consistency around doing it, which is where most people falter, is they don't have consistency, right? So that's what we want to make sure, that you have consistency, that you're practicing, and I call it touching it every day, touching it with your mind, your body, your spirit, with your heart and soul. You're touching it every day, that you're coming in for just a few minutes a day to that vision and touching it with your conscious awareness, so that you bring it into complete expression and realize this in your life.
Yeah. Would you just summarize,
that's your third arrow.
would you just summarize the four steps again, just so everyone really gets them?
Absolutely. First of all, have a clear mental image, a vision for what it is that you desire in your life. Second, have a purpose, a bigger reason, and feel that purpose. So that's your emotional connection to it, but have a purpose why it must absolutely happen. That gets you through the obstacles. If you don't have that, you're going to hit when an obstacle comes up, and believe me, obstacles come up for everyone, no matter how successful you are, no matter how big your light is shining. I guarantee you that anyone you would ask who's like uber successful, those of us who've realized incredible success in our life, it's not that we don't face obstacles, it's that something else is more important, right? That's your why, your purpose, your why. Third is unwavering faith, and fourth is gratitude. Vision, purpose, faith, and gratitude.
So many individuals have,
beautiful.
so many individuals have a tendency of being bombarded by what terminology of you have failed. In fact, even when you have a tendency in the educational system, they put an F on your paper. You failed. Now, I love what Thomas Edison said. He said, I didn't fail, I just discovered what didn't work. And that's what I say to individuals. Start implementing a new moment of empowerment and new statements. If somebody says you have failed, say, no, I did not fail. I discovered what did not work.
Yeah.
And now I am discovering what does work.
Course correct.
Course correction. And if you look at any of the individuals that have a chance of even traveling, either if you're on the ocean or you're in flight, they are continually making course corrections because there's so many variables, so many different, between the wind shifts and the changes and storms. It's also a reflection of what happens within life. They always do course corrections, and they always get there within the perimeters of what's considered the norm of time.
Acceptable margins.
Acceptable margins.
So speaking of time, so I know you have a very special offer for everyone watching in here. So please share it with us.
I will. And, I mentioned a few minutes earlier that consistency is the key, having support and consistency to weather through the old patterns right, that will pop up, and the obstacles and the resistance. So we developed a program a few years ago that was really just sharing what we do. It's sharing the kind of pulling back the curtain and looking at how tricky the mind is that pulls you off course, and how to have empowering dialogue with that. And we call that program the Miracle Mindshift. And I know, Andrea, you and Lynn and Cynthia have all experienced Mindshift and how powerful and profound it can be in your life. For me, the Miracle Mindshift is exactly that. It's a way to call forth and expect miracles in your life. And it certainly is in my life. It's a daily practice that I do, so I'm sharing that with you. And our commitment to do that came from the place of knowing how challenging it had been for us to get to that point. It took us decades to start pulling all this wisdom together and put it into practice so that we were not struggling, but we were flowing and allowing ourselves to receive the support that really exists in the world for all of us. So we put together Mindshift as a 31-day practice, so you can each day, in just a few minutes a day, do what I call touch your vision in a way that brings it into full expression. Learning how your mind is manipulating you rather than you using your mind. And Robert has an expression that I love so much. He says, your mind is a powerful servant, but a terrible master. And until you reverse the role on that, it is going to continue to take you into the places you've already been. So if you want to create a beautiful story for your life that empowers and uplifts and inspires you and makes a huge difference in the world, you need to learn how to reverse that role and let your mind serve you. The mind is a powerful creator and used in the right way. And so the Mindshift teaches you exactly how to do that, step by step, in literally just minutes a day. And you're brought into a community of people who are learning to master this process. And what I love most about it is you get the support that you really deserve. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing, like, here, download this and okay, we're done with you. We want you to have the support so that you practice it a little bit, like wax on, wax off, simple movements, simple activities each day for just a few minutes that over time begin to change the way you not only see yourself, but begin to change the way that you're able to open up your ability to receive, because receiving truly is an act of generosity. And that's where most people, I think, most of the people, at least in our world and in this community, people who are here today, I already know you're a generous giver. That giving is not an issue, or you wouldn't have been drawn to this message. You wouldn't have been drawn to come here. You've got giving down, but receiving is a little more challenging. So we want you to learn how to have balance about that in your life in a way that really feels wonderful, that feels balanced and harmonious in your life. And so that's what Mindshift is about. And those people who are coming into this special offer will be able to get 90 days of additional coaching from us, so that if they have questions, if they need some support, if they need people to help hold their vision, that they'll receive that and our personal attention to that through the Voyager Gold program.
So,
the thing,
amazing. And I just want to give the link because I'm sure people are chomping at the bit to go check it out. So it's skyhawkenterprises.biz, B for boy, IZ, skyhawkenterprises.biz/Mindshift. Okay, so go check it out. It's an amazing program, let me just say. So Robert, please go ahead.
Yeah, and the thing is about the Miracle Mindshift is that they can use it for the rest of their lives, like Terri uses it all the time. And I get every once in a while, someone will say, I did this last year. Do you remember me? I said, yes, I do. How is your family, and how is that new job working for you, that one that you just decided to leap into? And they'll say, it was the best thing I've ever done, because I realized that this was going to benefit me, and although it had a tendency of integrating my economics differently, it really filled my spirit, filled my soul. And so that's what happens. My native elders never said you're right, wrong, good, or bad. That was not their job. what their job was is to mirror to the individual where they stood within the painting of their life. And in doing so, it allowed them to be able to take it and expand their ability to be able to see what was going on around them, and also allowed them to be able to make better choices for themselves. And in doing so, they role modeled to the individuals around them that everyone has a choice for a better way of life.
Andrea, could you share with the audience maybe one thing that you took away from the Mindshift experience? Because I know you went through the Mindshift experience yourself. Maybe that would be helpful to people.
Well, pick one. Yes, I love a challenge. Yeah, so I really got to see very big time how busy my mind is. With all of the training, all of the enlightenment, all the stuff I have, right, experience, this works for everyone. It works for everyone. Because through just the pacing of it, I got to see actually I was not really totally believing in myself, that there was more there, and then how I was showing up in my life, was reflected. So the minute, I just opened that little doorway, self-doubt, check. And it's through the repetition, where you really get real with yourself. So that was mine, that really I just got to see a nook and cranny of where there was space to expand, and really step into believing in myself, big time.
I love that, and I love what you said, that it really works for everyone. For me, and I've done extensive personal work and done massive healing, realized so many things in my life, and yet each time that I give myself the gift of this few minutes a day in the daily practice of the Miracle Mindshift, I am blown away with how rich it is for me. You would think, oh, I'm done with that, right? Because the mind, this is the slippery function of the mind. I shouldn't need to be doing this, right? I'm beyond that, or I've already done that. That's the ego. That's the mind. And as soon as we hear it, that's one of the things that Mindshift gives me, is the perspective of, that is not a voice that serves me. I am the orchestrator, right? I'm the conductor of the orchestra. Let's make these voices sing a beautiful song that take me to the next level of expression. No matter where you're at in your life, you can always, this is one thing I know for sure, and this was one of the gifts of me being paralyzed, was the idea that we really have almost no idea how huge we are in terms of the light that we can shine in the world. We have a glimpse of our power. We have a glimpse of who we are and why we're here. And the more we're willing to lean into that and invite it in and embrace ourselves and increase the unconditional love that you have for yourself, not only does life become more and more magical and truly miraculous, it becomes something that, without even doing anything, the beingness that you are shines so much light and love in the world that people are uplifted just by coming in contact with you. You don't even have to, it's not that we're here to change anyone. It's that we're here to shine our own light in the world, and the brighter you can shine that light by loving yourself more, by accepting yourself more, by eliminating self-doubt, by transforming it, right? The more other people are inspired to do the same. And it's such a beautiful thing to me. I mean, this really brings tears to my eyes, because this is really why we're all here. We're all here to realize that. We're all here to realize that we are loved. You are loved and cherished. There's nothing that you can do to not be lovable. You are loved, and you're cherished, and you're valued, and you matter. And that's the ultimate truth. That is the miracle of it all.
The Miracle Mindshift has a tendency of working, and I haven't found anything that works better than that. you know, every one of us has worked with the Miracle Mind Shift continuously because it continues to allow us to be able to permeate specific things and issues that we thought we were done with. But also the Miracle Mind Shift, it works with men and it works with women. But the one thing which I really love about the Miracle Mind Shift is that it really identifies specific things within you. And the native elders, especially with women, they say women, they're sacred beings. Women are sacred beings, and according to the ancient elders, every woman first needs to be intimate with 7 plants, knowing how they grow, how they are, because initially what it'll do is reintegrate the aspects of the gift of their gender, but also the aspects of the energetic connection with all the elements. And according to the elders, it's the women that are going to take and come and save humanity in the near future because of that ability. It's their time, it's their turn, and maybe the Miracle Mind Shift is one of the keys. I'm not saying it's the keys to all doors, but what I am saying is it has the potential to implement and empower them to take their place, their biological place, their birthright. It has the ability for them to expand and nurture and show the world what unconditional love is. And so that is why, and in the Ojibwe, the Chippewa people, the elders, they spoke about women so highly, in high regard, that they knew that they are here. They are the ones that are now carrying the knowledge of the stories, the knowledge of the herbs, the knowledge of what it is to be able to take and keep connected. They are the ones that need to be re-implement the grounding, and in doing so, the men will be able to restand in their place too. The men have taken and kind of messed a lot of things up, I have to admit, just by observation. I'm not saying all of them. I'm not trying to say that it's right, wrong, good, or bad, but I am saying that according to the elders, the native elders, it's the women's time for them to take and embrace their right.
Well, and when we as women heal, it allows our men to heal. It's very important. We wanted to offer a special bonus for anyone here who is listening. If this is resonating with your heart, and if you'd like to go deeper into understanding what Robert's referring to in terms of life purpose and connection and the ancient teachings of the medicine wheel, we're offering people an opportunity to experience the 21-day life purpose quest. It takes you through these 7 rites of passage and the 7 directions that are represented on the wheel. So, Lynn, do you have a link for that, or?
I have it right here. I do.
Right.
So it's skyhawkenterprises.biz, B-I-Z, /life purpose quest in one word. So one more time, skyhawkenterprises.biz, /life purpose quest.
Great.
So, yes, so you are both a shining, shining light in the world. I highly recommend everyone run, don't walk, to check out both of these amazing programs that you have. They're life-changing. Your heart, your voice, your spirit is pervasive throughout them. And I just love you both so much. To the moon and back.
Mm-hmm.
Love you more.
So is there any last word that you want to share? Okay. Lynn is back with us. Oh, great.
I just wanted to say, I love you all. So, Andrea, that was a great question. Why don't you finish asking that question, and we'll go ahead and wrap things up here.
Excellent. Thanks, Lynn. Yeah. Yes, so here's my question, Terry and Robert. So is there a last parting words of wisdom to leave us with you'd like to share?
First, I would say, Miigwech Nibuwa. And to me, what that is I'm not only thanking you, but I'm thanking all of the people that are here in this particular moment in my native language. And Miigwech Nibuwa, roughly translated, means all that you have given, I hold in the highest regard. And so I thank you all, those that are here that I can see and those that I cannot see, because I see you with my heart. Miigwech Nibuwa.
Oh, that was beautiful.
What he said.
Absolutely beautiful. What he said, she said what he said. Oh, thank you so much for bringing this wisdom and bringing your heart, bringing your connection with Source to provide each of those of us who are listening, whether we're listening live or to the replay. What you've shared today has in itself been powerful, and it has been a gift of that power to each of us who will not only receive it, but integrate it and then take action on it. And I just thank you so much for that. From my heart to yours, I bring you that thanks from our audience. And I want to say that, you know, I knew that this was going to be really powerful today because about an hour before showtime, I was without power. And I reached out, and I mean, actually, the connection was she reached out to me, and I just had to say, can you be my plan B? And Cynthia Gardner O'Neill is here with us today as part of my plan B in the event that I saw myself without power again. Thank you. Love you. So appreciate you for being here. And Andrea, my dearest, thank you so much for hosting the Tall Trees. This is called community. This is called sharing the love and sharing the wisdom, sharing the expertise that each of us brings to the table and that we're actually called to share and to bring forth as the example for others. What we're doing here today, you out there in Web TV land can do and participate in, and I invite you to do just that. I invite you to connect with us as part of the Permission Movement by going to permissionmovement.org. Sign up and be a part of what we're going to be doing on a consistent basis. Yes, the Permission Slip campaign. And we want you to give yourself permission to be the powerful you that you were born to be, to step up to the next rung on the ladder with ease and grace and favor, and know that you are fully and completely supported in all that you do because of Source's gift to you before you were born. You are powerful today, and thank you so much for joining us. I hope to see you again tomorrow as we have another show in the Permission Movement experience. And we will be going the entire month, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. or a little after. So if you can't catch the tail end, be sure to come back to the video replay and catch it because you don't want to miss a thing. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to all of my wonderful, beautiful guests, the Tall Trees. Thank you for joining us. Cynthia, thank you for being Plan B, girlfriend. And Andrea, thank you for being such a gracious, wonderful host. Thanks, everyone. We will see you on tomorrow, 12 o'clock Eastern Time, where we're going to have another powerful show for you. Until then, bye for now.